Welcome to the No Dress Code Pod, where we keep it real, celebrate Black excellence, and dive into the things that matter most. Tune in, vibe out, and let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod. I'm your favorite hoochie, legs out, not open, and podcast host, Bree. If this is your first time listening, or if you're a returning listener, then thank you. Where would we be without you? Before we get started in today's episode, we do have a special guest. Special guest, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Jessie White. I'm a professional trainer, coach, amateur professional, physical fitness. Just what I do.
Okay, and so we are big on mental health here. Before we start the episode, we do want to check in with you. So how has your mental been?
My mental been good. Considering it's always something going on in life. But you have to just keep pushing and persevere. You got to just keep going.
Okay, love to hear it. And to the listeners, you guys already know if you're not having an amazing week, there's something we can do for you in this moment, but continue to speak it over you and hope that your week going forward is amazing. But if you are not having a good week, then drop it in the comments and let me know. We're gonna do something for you, I promise. So today, are you excited for your episode or you nervous? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling naturally cool, just mellow, but I'm always got a level of excitement, of doing things and seeing the results.
Okay. So love to hear it. So let's start from the beginning.
All right.
So Jesse, you've had quite the journey in boxing. Can you share with us how you first got into the sport and what it was like for you early on?
Well, getting into the sport, it's a long story, but I'll try my best. You know what I mean? Where can I start? Well, my brother, I got an older brother that's 10 years older than me, and he is professional. But when we was young kids, when I was about 11, he introduced us to boxing and had us sparring in the room and stuff, me and my little brother, and that's what planted the seed. And then I just was training with him ever since then, off and on.
Okay. So what sparked that sparked your initial interest in boxing? And what was the pivotal moment that made you decide to go pro?
Well, it really wasn't a pivotal moment. It was something that I've always wanted to do. Um, I'm an individual that just had a complicated life because I've had complicated upbringing. And like I just didn't grow up as your average American. In this country.
I mean, we don't know if there's
Yeah, you know.
average, childhood, but I get what you're saying. So you've worked with boxing legends like T. Mayweather and Layla Ali. What was that experience like, and how did it shape you as both a fighter and a trainer?
Well, I like Mayweather. When you say Team Mayweather, people got to understand clearly what you mean. I've worked with at Mayweather boxing and fitness. I've done that. However, studying the game, I was, I've had some connections where I was able to observe Mayweather training and getting ready for certain fights, and watched him train. And I was blessed to watch Roger Mayweather train. And it was a lot of stuff that I was studying, what they were doing. And I couldn't figure it out. And then Roger allowed me to just record him working with the kids. And I figured out a lot of stuff that him and Floyd was doing.
Okay, so how did that shape you as a a trainer?
Well, that just added to what I already knew, but at the same time, I did grow from that experience, and I just took it and ran with it.
Okay, and what were some of the things you learned from him? Can you share that or?
What I've learned is just the intensity of the training, and a lot of times you don't train for rounds or train traditionally like everybody else. I've learned that they train for time. A lot of things, time, not just how many rounds or whatever traditionally like everybody else does. It's time. Like everything is time. Like instead of running 5 miles, I would run 3 hours, something like that. You know what I mean? It's just time. Or
Yeah, now you lost me at that run.
yeah,
But you can continue.
no, I'm just saying like either even sparring. People spar like 12 rounds, but what I've learned, they would spar for 40 minutes straight, or something like that, or an hour straight. So just time. I've learned that.
That's a lot because I've done it for 3 minutes. No, 2 minutes. So 40 minutes is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't catch my breath. I'm over here losing
yeah,
my breath at 2 minutes.
yeah. Boxing, it'll get it out you. There's a lot of martial arts and different fight styles and organizations that mirror the blueprint off of boxing. Boxing is the oldest sport known to man. You know what I mean? So I understand that I'm a part of something really big, and the biggest martial art, the biggest art form of boxing, because boxing has more styles than any fighting thing, style, or whatever that you want to call it. Boxing just got a whole lot of styles. So,
Okay, can you break some of those styles down to us? Like, can you tell us some of the styles?
well, no, I mean, well, different styles, like different cultures, different races have different
Oh, okay,
styles.
because I have heard
You
the
know what I mean?
Mexican style type of fight. Like, I've
Yeah.
heard of that.
The Mexican style, they come straight forward. You know what I mean? And traditionally got a lot of heart. You know what I mean? And traditionally, I believe that the Mexican fighter is the one that really created the art of body shots. Like Julio Cesar Chavez. He was like great at body shots. So he showed the boxing world what you can do with going to the body. You know, and of course Mike Tyson.
Mm. It's funny you bring up Mike Tyson. We do have questions for you about him
Okay.
coming on later.
All right.
But let's stick with you real quick. How has your perspective on the sport evolved from being in the ring to now being on the sidelines as a trainer and mentor? Like, do you view it differently? Has anything changed for you?
Uh, you know, I think anybody that's following boxing knows the changes, and the changes is just that everybody want to protect their O. Everybody want to be undefeated, and there's more strategic picking of fighting now than just let's go fighting anyone. You know what I mean? That changed. Just like the NBA changed. The NBA is soft, and boxing is somewhat soft when it comes down to just everybody fighting each other, and the best fighting the best. It's like I have to have all this money, and it's just changed in that way. Like the money and everybody protecting the O, and navigating to be undefeated and to follow somewhat what Floyd did.
Yeah, because is Floyd the one with the Philly thing? Is that what it's called? Like Philly roll or you know what I'm talking about? The is that's Floyd or no?
Well, Floyd would tell you, and you know what I would say too. He brought it to another level, but it's a style that he didn't invent, but he perfected it.
Okay, but for those who don't know, because I don't know if it's the right name. Can you provide the name? Like, can you like
Well,
what is?
they call it a lot of different things, but mostly known as the Philly shell.
Oh, okay, that's what it
Yeah,
is. I knew it was Philly something. I was
or the
close.
shoulder roll.
Okay, so it's one thing to be a boxer, but being a trainer is entirely different beast.
Hmm.
What's it been like for you to transition from the coaching role, transition into the coaching role, especially training the next generation?
Well, being a coach is something that I really didn't want to do. I was always chasing my dream and trying to do my thing in boxing, um, but a lot of times we run out of time. You know, however, going into being a trainer, uh, it was a difficult transition, and I went through difficult things being a trainer. In this game, and just figured out how everybody move and everything. And like I was taught by guys that all you needed was a handshake. Before you had to have lawyers and contracts and all of this. Just a good man is a good man. So if you just shake hands, that goes a long ways. But it's not like that no more.
Men, you mean people aren't men of their men of their words anymore?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a handshake is not like it used to be.
My daddy said a man's word is all he got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So, how did your experience as a boxer inform your coaching style, and what sets you apart as a trainer?
Well, what says? Well, I definitely train more like I've learned more about throwing body shots. Like teaching my fighters to go to the body. When I was fighting, I knew about going to the body, but I didn't go to the body enough. When I look at the body of work that I've ever done, and sparring or fighting or whatever I done, when I look at it, I didn't throw enough body shots, and it would have made my life easier. So that made me be more interested in being complete, top to bottom. So as a trainer, I teach to throw more body shots.
Okay, and then what else? What else have you learned since stopping? Since retiring from being a boxer?
I've learned basically different aspects, defense, offense. I've learned just dealing with different personalities as well. You got to know who you're dealing with and what makes them tick and what don't. And what turns them on and what turns them off. And because this game is so tricky, and if you have someone that's worth anything or that's going somewhere, there's always somebody gonna be in their ear. So, you have to have a good relationship with people, and as a trainer, you have to really gauge the person's um, loyalty and just their personality and where their heart is at and all of that. And it's just a lot if you decide to put your heart and soul to make someone great. It's a lot. You know what I mean? So you have to know who you're dealing with before you put all of that in them, because when you do, and then they leave you like you never done anything, that's the most hurting experience, for a trainer. It's like a divorce. It's like, it's just, it's a bad breakup. you know, because you put in your heart and soul to make that fighter great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when they leave you or go to somebody else that's saying they can do it better, or because they definitely getting someone that's already polished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that right there is just the name of the game too. It's a lot of people is just undermining and trying to get in the easy way. Someone's already made.
Riding on somebody's coattails.
Yes, 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 ma'am. So yeah, so that part of the game I experienced, and you know, I've learned from that. So when I go into to training someone and and want to deal with someone, it's a lot because you to be great and to push greatness in someone, you have to get up and close and personal with them, and you have to be all in.
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth it? Because if they not loyal to you, that's a bad breakup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like heartfelt. So
Because you
this,
put your blood, sweat, and tears into that person.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this thing is not easy. You know what I mean? So, and I think that goes with anything in any sport. You know what I mean? Loyalty goes a long way, and character, goes a long way. Character, you know what I mean? And that what you just said, what your father taught you is a man's word is his bond.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when you break it, you also break a lot of things. So, you know, with that said, I've learned a valuable lesson. So just to partake and to just to work with anybody, I gotta know your character. You know what I mean? So there it is. That's what I learned. That's my biggest lesson. Character.
Okay. So for this next question, we're gonna get a little bit more personal. You're training your son now to be a champion. What's that dynamic like, and what's the toughest part about balancing fatherhood with coaching?
Well, just the natural instinct that you don't want to see your kids get hurt, and the natural instinct of if you think they getting hurt or things ain't going your way, you cringe, but you have to keep your cool because that's your kid and you training them. You got to stay professional. So with the hurt factor and what could happen and all that stuff happen, that right there is nerve wracking within itself. Being a parent and then a coach, so you know it's just a learning experience for me because this is a first for me. So I've trained many people, but I've never trained my own flesh and blood. So it's just a learning experience along the way.
A beautiful journey, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wonder sometimes, like, how can you, I mean, yeah, boxing is like a sport. What do they say? You don't play boxing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a serious sport. And your kid's not bad. He's not half bad. But still, to like see him get hit sometimes, I'd be like, ooh, how does that feel for you?
Well, it don't feel good. However, he haven't.
He's never been hurt.
Well, he's never been hit where in a way where it was just something like alarming.
Yeah.
Like man, he don't need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see potential things that could happen that I'm on him about, and I'll continue to be on him about. Um, but his potential for greatness and to be the best, just for who he is and his talent and his God given talent, he has it all. It's just how bad he wants it, and because his development is going very well. Um, we coming up with new things to do all the time. So his potential and greatness is limitless. It's just it depends on him and how bad he wants it.
Because we're starting to see a lot of like father son trainings,
Hmm.
like Floyd and his dad, and I'm sure there's others. Um, so is that like what pushed you to train your son, Floyd and his dad, or was there you just was like he's good? Let me hone
Well,
in on this.
definitely Floyd and his dad motivated a lot of people, just like Michael Jackson motivated a lot of people. Greatness and the blueprint to greatness is always noted. So, with that said, yeah, that was definitely an inspiration, father son, with a lot of people. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? There's a lot of champions or ex champions or fighters, period, that train their sons. Um, there's a lot of champions that don't have as much success with their sons. It's just regular people that's just hungry and training their son. It's different
Mm-hmm.
because you can't duplicate the way you came up. You know, there's definitely got to be a hunger to be great and to want to gain riches and to be comfortable in life.
Yeah. Um. What What's your training philosophy? Are there any specific lessons that you focus on that you think are key to building a successful fighter?
Well, for me, um, my number one my number one rule and focus is always athlete first, boxer second.
Okay, and can you explain that?
Well, if you run out of gas and you don't have no gas, then you're no good no matter what you know. So you 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 can be great, you can be a great fighter, but if you run out of gas, then it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Once you run out of gas in that ring, that is it. And the feeling of fighting with no gas in the tank as a fighter, it's like close to you feel like you're gonna die, and somebody trying to hit you too, and they don't feel like they don't they gas tank is full. Oh, you in trouble. You in big trouble. So it don't matter how great you can fight. If you don't have stamina and gas in your tank, that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Where is that from? Because where? Wait, where is that from?
That's from Friday. But but a little twist. Like when Ice Cube came in there, and then he made him come in there while he was taking a shit, and then he was spraying, and he was like, "Come in here, boy, boy, who had you? Bring your butt." And Ice Cube in here like this, right? And then he was like, "Boy, what's going on? You need to get a job or whatever, whatever." And he said something what his mama said, and Ice Cube was looking, and then he was like, "Yeah, just like them dogs, like them dogs. I see them dogs. I kick the shit out of them dogs because they give me pleasure."
I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie because I feel like
Yeah,
my black
is
card
that
about to get
John
taken.
Witherspoon?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew who it was when you said he was on the toilet with the spray. I knew that part.
yeah, yeah.
Iconic. Okay, so now let's talk about the rise of influencer boxing. With some names like Jake Paul and Logan Paul stepping into the ring, it's changed the landscape of the sport. What are your thoughts on the phenomenon?
Well, it's been good for boxing. You know, um, you got people that's old fashioned and would be considered prejudiced against the whole thing. You know, but we got to admit, Jake Paul has shaken things up, and definitely brought money to the table. You know, whatever gimmick or whatever people want to claim that it is or whatever, it still brought a lot of attention to the to boxing. And the tricky thing about boxing, or I would say the beautiful thing about boxing, is this: you got your fighters, you got your trainers, you got just different levels of the whole sport and the whole science. And what I mean by that is that when things are good at the top, people are eating at the bottom, or just the and maybe as saying the bottom is kind of harsh to say, or let's just say right there at the bare essence of boxing, which is the floor, which you got your trainers and you got your coaches that's teaching and really working the sport. Then you got trainers that's making a living working with clients because of the sport, because of the popularity and the sensation of the sport. People are looking out to learn the sport and they intrigued with the sport. So they're seeking trainers, which which trainers are making a living. Boxing trainers are making a living. And go figure, boxing trainers never made a living. To be honest with you, you get a fighter, you train a fighter, and you go to your job and you work. But to be a trainer and to make a living as a trainer without a job, that right there was looked down upon. Like he ain't making nothing. But nowadays it's different. You could be a boxing trainer and you make good money because it's a respected science that that on whatever level you want to say that Jake Paul has done, he's definitely brought some money to the table for everyone, from the top to the bottom. You got to look at it from that perspective, and that's what I look at it from. You know, everybody get to eat from the top to the bottom just because of the popularity and the sensationalism of boxing and the science and everything that's going on and the imagination.
Okay, so what impact do you think influencers have on boxing as a sport? Is it just that right now it's enough for everybody to eat? And is it a good thing or bad thing for the industry?
Everything is both. Everything is 50-50. You just never know, You just you got to keep it in perspective. But just like Jake Paul is calling out Canelo because he figured Canelo is tough, but he figured I'm bigger than Canelo. I probably can take him. But then what does that do to the sport? Does that spill into clownism? You know what I'm saying? But then the money is not not funny. The money is not funny. You know what I mean? But doing it might be what you consider clownism, this clown or whatever. But then if Canelo decide to do that, it's definitely gonna be big money. So the money, they could be laughing all the way to the bank. So
That's
the
all I'm
money,
saying. I ain't worried about anybody laughing at me
yeah.
if I'm getting the money.
So what does that do to the sport then if that happened? Should we just be prideful and say, hey, I'm too prestigious for that. I'm not gonna cross over no matter how much money. I'm not gonna sell out. I'm talking about Canelo. I'm not gonna sell out. I'm gonna just wait on here and fight quality professional fighters that's earned the right to fight me instead of this guy. You know what I mean? So it just depends on how everybody look at it and how he look at it. Is he prejudiced against it, or is he just true to the game, or whatever the reason is? it's in his hands. But then you got Andre Ward and you got other people that's like, you know what, you fought Uncle Mike. You're going to fight Uncle Mike Tyson, right? Fight me. I'm 40. That's Andre Ward.
I have seen
So,
Andre Ward on Instagram talking about
yeah,
that
yeah. So
too.
I'm waiting on his response to Andre Ward because Andre Ward is 40, though. He's still in striking distance. So that's scary. 40 is still scary. You know what I'm saying? Because a man still got a lot at 40. So it's a risk for Jake to take that fight, but it's out there. He's heard it, and I'm just waiting to see the response from it.
Okay, so if he takes it, who do you think who do you have winning? Because in all actuality, I didn't see the Mike Tyson fight going that way.
Listen, if Jake Paul and Andre Ward fight, it's Andre Ward 200%.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, we taking bets on that? Okay. Okay, so Jake Paul's been involved in some high profile matches, like the Mike Tyson one. Where do you think his future lies in boxing? Will he continue to push the boundaries or will this trend fizzle out? As someone who's been in the game as long as you've been in the game.
Well, I just heard I don't know what's his name, the Arab dude with all the money.
Oh,
That's
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know his name with the robe and everybody know who I'm talking about. He offered to pay Mike Tyson 800 million to for a rematch with Jake Paul. You know what I mean? So I don't know how true that is, but and then without he basically saying, Mike, you can fight again without prostituting yourself for his little measly 20 million or 30 million off the back end, whatever he made. You can really try to win
Yeah,
and
the
beat him.
head of
You know what I mean? So
Dubai Entertainment or something like that.
yeah. So basically, that's it. That's what he's saying. So we'll see. And I'm just waiting.
You
I'm
think he's
waiting
gonna
on
take it?
everything. I'm waiting on all the response. I'm waiting on him to respond to Andre Ward. I'm waiting to see about what they talking about with Mike Tyson. Uh, I'm just waiting. But to answer your question before this question, it's just shaking things up and it's just making the game just more interesting and popular and everybody's eating.
So it's bringing the entertainment back to the sport.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of Andre Ward, there's been buzz about a potential match with, I've heard Deontay Wilder or Andre Ward. How likely do you think that is that Jake would step into the ring with someone as seasoned and still as active as they are?
Well, Andre Ward has been retired for a while. He's just now dibbling and dabbling and coming back, but it's always in you. Um, and
Deontay Wilder?
oh, you talking about Deontay Wilder?
I said him too.
That's never gonna happen. I don't think Deontay Wilder's. That's never gonna happen.
You don't think he'll take it?
No, that don't make sense. That's just too close to him fighting for the heavyweight championship, and that's I would think that that's just too dangerous for him. He wouldn't take that fight. No,
It doesn't have to be right now.
no,
He wouldn't take it at
I
all.
don't think he would take that one. Me personally, I don't even think that's on the table. Nope, that don't make some sense. For him. He wouldn't do that. That's too risky.
Okay. Okay. So, do you think influence in boxing will continue to thrive, or do you feel the hype will eventually die down? And how does it compare to the traditional fight game?
I don't think I don't think it's gonna die down no time soon. I think it's gonna be a couple uprisings with it. Um, as long as the money is there, I don't think it's going nowhere.
Mm.
I mean, it's all about money. Ain't a damn thing funny. So, and that's the truth. So I just think as long as the money is there, and then internationally, people doing so much overseas and in different countries, and you got all of these billionaires that's just interested in it, and because boxing is such a different sport where you can be anybody and dibble and dabble in it, I just think a lot of people with money is just interested in changing things or whatever. And boxing is perfect for that because there's no sanction, basically nothing. It's just boxing got its rules and whatever and regulations, but at the same time, it's just free for anyone to get a license and be this and be that, be a promoter or whatever. You can even get a license to be a professional and never train a day in your life.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So, it's just paperwork. Sometimes you got to show and prove. You know what I mean? But basically, that's what's going on.
That's crazy. I would think you'd have to show and prove in order to get your
Well,
professional
well, well,
license.
well, a lot of things you got to show and prove to your trainer. Nobody's gonna agree to turn you pro or help you turn pro if they know you ain't put in the work. So, a lot of people, because there's a lot of professional fighters that never fought one amateur fight. So, who vouched for them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They gotta be like, "Oh yeah, you ready, champ? Let's go," type of
I
thing.
would be scared to do that. Have just go straight pro, no amateur fights.
Yeah.
I would be shivering in my boots. So looking ahead, what does the future of boxing look like, especially with the rise of social media personalities and crossover events?
Well, boxing is looking great, and boxing is gonna get greater as we go because we have a crop of young fighters that started off very young. Like the game has changed, and it's going to continue to change because you have a lot of fighters that started off very young. You have a lot of father son situations. You got father sons that's bringing their sons to trainers to train them at a young age. It's just the game has changed. Just it was rare that you have fighters that start so young. Like Floyd started when he was 6. My son, my son started basically when his whole life, but at the age of 6 is when we just started from that point to now. So all of these guys, are starting so young. Um, you can't just say I'm a fight. I'm gonna want to start fighting at 28 years old. You know, at 24 years old. Nowadays that's late. It could be done because anything is possible. Because that's why Rocky was so successful because
You mean the movie?
the movie
Okay.
because it's just the imagination. It's just how bad you want it and it's just different situations. You know, like the Cinderella Man or whatever. It's just different lives, different stories and stuff in boxing. You know what I mean? But with that said, still, it's hard to get past these young fighters nowadays that's starting out so young. They're just so sharp and they grew up in the ring. They have no fear. They calm. It's just hard to beat them coming in with no experience. You could be a grown man, you could be strong and tough, but if you don't have that fight experience and calm and just all the things that make a champion and make you dangerous, you in trouble.
Yeah. It is probably different coming in
Right.
younger than older. Do you see a future where influencers and traditional boxers coexist, or will there be a divide between the two?
Just as long as everybody respect the game on the fighters that's really, really, really putting in the work, then it could happen.
Because I think we see more so like the rise of social media boxers and um I don't know. I think if you can, I don't know about you, like if you follow any social media boxers, but I think that their content is different than like traditional boxers' content.
Hmm.
So then it's just like there's that. Like, I mean, granted, I understand content is content, but it's like one person gives me, "Oh, you actually work." Like, if I see how hard you work, type of thing, and one person gives me like, sometimes it's the gimmick. Are you?
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. That's when I was saying there is a prejudice in the game for that. Like some old school people looking at influencers coming into the game thinking it's all fun and games.
Mm-hmm.
So and then they're making more money doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then getting more popularity and all of that, right? In
Mm-hmm.
that world, in that realm. And of another fighter that's struggling, doing everything he can, but he's sharp as hell. And then he's like, so he could be prejudiced against that, because he's like, they not even working that hard and blah blah blah. But I just think if coming in, they would know that they should come in more humble and then respect, you know, um, that part of the game. But
The traditional.
yeah, but then that part of the game should learn this part of the game as well to learn how to just shake things up and get your money and be seen.
Yeah. Did you? It was a while ago, but there was like, I don't know if it was Cat Williams or Tiffany Haddish. I know Tiffany Haddish is with what, Kevin Hart. I think
Yeah.
they're together. But I know like there was a big thing between comedians where they felt like Instagram comedians were having it too easy. They didn't have to go through the same struggles that like Richard Pryor or what's his name? Last name is Fox. Is it
Jamie
Red?
Foxx,
No,
Red Fox.
no, I know not Jamie.
Yeah, that's
I
your
knew Jamie.
Red Fox.
Yeah, is that okay? So Red, and they're like, you didn't have to go to comedy clubs, and you weren't being heckled. Now you're just hopping on your phone and giving us 30 seconds, and that's completely different than having to go on set and give like 3 minute shows. So I think it's like kind of the same aspect, like influencer boxers and influencer comedians, and then versus old school, new school versus old school, so to speak.
Well, well, the game has changed. Entertainment has changed. The world has changed, and it's changed because of this. The world's changed because of this. The cell phone. So, with that said, with that said, anyone could get a platform and say, "Hey, look at me! Look what I'm doing." You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
is times has changed. Life has changed. Like some people that never would ever get attention in their life, they getting attention from
From
social
social
media.
media.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, hey, listen, hey, and then it's like you can script it. You know what I mean? Like people scripting stuff on social
Yeah,
media,
you can cut
and
stuff
they
out.
and they only showing their good side. You know what I mean? You don't really know who the hell they are because they
Hmm.
like only only my good
Only the
side.
highlights.
You know what I mean? So and let me get a good background. Let me steal this background and be like, this is where I'm at, type of thing. It's just you can't trust nothing on social media. I tell you that much. So, but yeah, man, everybody can get on. Everybody can get on and do something. Be like, hey, this is what I'm doing or whatever. And promote themselves. This is the time that we're living in. So um, either you learn and get with it, or you just get left behind. And I'm an older person.
That Dirk ain't. Dirk.
So like the cell phone era is new to me. To be honest with you,
You started with the beeper?
yeah,
I used to have a beeper in high
yeah, and
school.
and and I started off with the big old. Well, I seen them cats with the big old cell phones with the big battery packs.
The
Yeah,
I seen one of those. I was in Louisiana.
I even had a phone in my car. I think I was doing something. So the evolution is like, you look at Star Trek, right, and you see them be like, beam me up, Scotty, right? It's the truth right now. Like, we on the phone and it's like no wires, no nothing. You like, how we connected? It's the same as Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like, the cell phones is just crazy.
I must admit, I never watched Star Trek, but I
Oh
can't.
man, see, damn, see. So I'm connecting with a certain audience right now.
The ones
Not
that.
her. Not her. Uh-uh.
Because you know what? I've heard that phrase, beam me up, Scotty. I didn't know it was Star Trek.
No, you thought you was watching New Jack City.
Have I seen that?
You didn't see crackhead Pookie saying "Beam me up, Scotty"?
Is Crackhead Pookie, is that what's his name?
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've seen like references to it. I don't know if I've actually seen the movie itself.
Man. Come on, black people. Support your older black movies, okay?
I
You might
love
learn
older
something.
black movies. I
Well,
like
go
Coolie
on.
High and
Well,
stuff.
go on and watch some old Wesley Snipes, some old Denzel, some old, let me see, Spike Lee.
I like
You
Spike
know,
Lee. I can't get with Dorothy Dandridge, that movie. Although I don't think that's a Spike Lee movie, but that's one movie I can't get with. Um so how do you think boxing will evolve in the next 5 to 10 years? And what changes do you think need to happen to keep the sport thriving?
well, in 5 years, I just think that a lot of guys will probably be retired or exposed, or the big fights should happen by then in the next 5 years. So in the next 5 years, the game should be definitely different.
Okay. And how do you envision that? Like what do you see it being different?
Well, it's just gonna go into more drama, which sells. So if this guy beat this guy, then this guy, and so on. So it's just things gonna prevail. We got guys making comebacks. We got guys that's just going. You know what I mean? So we just don't know. It's just that's what makes boxing great. The drama and the mixture of different situations that's going on, and triumph and defeat. You know what I mean? And victory. You know what I mean? And the drama and all of that behind it. So we're just waiting to see. So I don't think boxing ever gonna die because it lasted this long. And what's all the things on the table now that's going on? Um, I see nothing but drama in the future. So I don't think boxing is not going nowhere. I think we're gonna eat for a while in boxing. I promise y'all, because it's just straight drama going on. So it's gonna last for a minute. Let's go.
Okay, so are there any changes you think that need to happen to keep the sport thriving, or you think it's going to thrive? Period.
It's gonna thrive. Period. You know what I mean? But we had our dark sides of boxing. And we had our dry spells in boxing. But it's just a lot of underground stuff too. It's just a lot of people fighting, getting in that ring. You got backyard fighting all on the internet.
Yeah,
Everybody
I do watch
fighting.
that. I do watch
Everybody
that low key.
boxing. Everybody want to get it up, get it, squabble up.
This is not Kendrick, okay?
Everybody trying to squabble up.
We are not Kendrick.
Yeah, but that's what's selling. Let's go. Ain't nobody no punk. Let's go. So
Do you watch any of those backyard boxing like clips?
to be honest with you, I don't really get deep into them. But I when I'm scrolling, I see some stuff. But I see what's going on in the wave of things in the internet. Just scrolling and checking it out, you know.
Mm.
But I'm not really into them. You know what I mean? I don't all the shredding and then the mismatching and just
Wait, what do you mean by mismatching?
Sometimes some guys don't even need to be back there messing around and they get sleep. They get knocked out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen a few of those videos.
You got to be careful because guys get hit twice on the streets. You hit them once and they go out and then they be sleeping. So wherever they land and they don't wake up, that's on you. They land twice on the ground, the concrete, hit something, hit a light pole, anything, and just die on you, you're in trouble. So it's always dangerous on the street.
That's a murder charge, I think. If it's not
Yeah.
manslaughter or something like that.
Yeah, you knock somebody out, you better help them down. You better do a Mike Tyson and help him.
He helped him down.
He was trying. Mike used to knock people out and be trying to help them. People be like, get back, Mike.
Yeah, because once you knock me out, don't you dare touch me. Okay, don't you dare touch me again.
You didn't. He almost down, and you just threw a body shot and hit him in the head. He down. He almost down. Mike Tyson used to hit cats. They be almost down, but he was low to the ground, so it was technically a body shot that you hit. He hit you in the head with, because you was down there. So it's technically a body shot, and he hit you in the head.
Yeah, if
Bam.
you knock me out, don't you dare touch me again.
So yeah.
I don't want you helping me down. I'm gonna just be honest. You better let me fall the way I fell. With the influence of social media, how will the role of branding and personal following impact boxers' futures? Is it becoming less about talent and more about the platform?
Sometimes, because sometimes they you got guys that's hyping fights up. Then when the fight happened, the guy that was the most hype behind them and that was talking the most shit can't even fight. So you get to the fight, you be like, damn. So the whole hype to the fight a lot of times is the hype. Then you get those guys in there, they can't even fight.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's a little bit of you got to respect Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Because he's actually really training and trying to be better and he's a threat. You know what I mean? But a lot of these guys just talking and ain't that good and they get your money and get your hype. You get there, you tune in, and boom, they can't fight and they ain't put in the work. So that happens too.
The loudest in the room is always the one that is like can't back they shit up. It's usually the quiet ones you gotta worry about.
Yep, absolutely.
So, in addition to training, you've recently started refereeing at the Boxing Social Club, or what is it called? What is it called? Matchmakers?
Matchmakers Boxing Social Club.
Okay, so how did that come about, and how has it been like being in that role? Boxing, training, boxer, trainer, and referee.
Well, it first started off. My cousin Jeremy Williams called me because he the one, him and my buddy, which is my partner Seven. They started it off, and he called me because they was out of fighters, and he asked me to box that night. So I was introduced to it. Excuse me, coming in as a fighter. And he just told me like, hey man, you can fight circles around these guys. I'm like, how old are they? These young guys, I don't know. He said, man, you can box circles around them. He was just trying to, he was pumping me up, but I was going through something at the moment, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's go.
You don't never want to fight nobody going through something at the moment.
Yeah. So
Never.
so I put some plastic in my mouth for a mouthpiece. I had some old Reyes in my car, and I had my work clothes on. I was like, let's go, and I did it. And surprisingly, I whooped ass, and I had to take it easy a little bit, and it was surprising what I had left. So it started something, it sparked something. But then as we progressed, my cousin came up to me. He's like, man, you know what? I got an idea. Why don't you be a ref? So we don't have to worry about you getting in there all the time. Because in reality, getting in the ring, like on a consistent basis at my age, probably wouldn't be smart. Eventually something might happen. And I said, you know what? You're right. So it was his idea. And then I was like, well, give me a shirt. And then I was like, well, not like a regular boxing shirt. Give me like a basketball referee shirt, so we could put a twist on it. So, because nobody's seen like the striped shirts in the ring, because it don't belong in the ring, not really, But
What do they wear in the ring then? Now that I'm thinking
they
about it.
ring different solid colors or whatever, but they don't wear the stripes.
Oh.
That's like basketball and football and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that would be cool. So we just built the persona of a ref in the ring.
Oh, wow. I guess I never thought about that. I
Yeah.
didn't notice that they don't wear striped shirts. Okay. Um,
Maybe they do. I got to look at the history of them, but I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
Not
Now that
not
you're now
now.
that you're
Not
mentioning
yet.
it, I don't
Yeah.
think they do. I think they wear. Is it
Right.
like
Like
long
solid.
sleeve?
Yeah, solid colors.
Yeah. So, what's been your approach to refereeing? Does your experience as a boxer and coach shape the way you handle the role in the ring?
Well, I was told by different referees and stuff that you can't look at it like a fighter. So I don't look at it like a fighter. I look at it on the other end. I look at it as a ref, someone that's concerned about the safety of the individuals in the ring, and just make sure that everything is safety and accordingly, and the warnings are there, and just make sure everything is like professionally safe. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to be at the hospital or on the news for something. You know what I mean? Very
Mm-hmm.
simple. Somebody getting hurt, because that's not what it's all about.
Yeah. Okay. So, are there any memorable moments? Wait, hold on. Before we go on to the next question, you said you don't look at it as a fighter. What is it? How? Okay, because I don't really know how. What's the difference? Like, how would you look at it as a fighter?
Well, I look at it like I'm saving a life. I'm looking out for their lives.
And then,
So,
if you were looking at it as a fighter, how would you look at it?
well, I mean, it's no way to look at it like a fighter if I'm a ref. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be the right way. So it's hard to even answer that question. It's just not the right way to look at it, because a fighter is not looking at the safety. The fighter, if I was a fighter, I'd be taking chances. Like a referee, they can't take chances. You know what I mean? It's what it is. And when you see something, like sometimes some shots don't affect guys, and then a lighter shot will affect him, and you see it affect him. You have to act on it. You know what I mean? So it's different.
So basically, a fighter might play in the gray, but as a ref, you're black and white.
Yes.
Got you. Makes sense. Are there any memorable moments from refereeing that stand out to you? And how do you navigate the tough situations in the ring?
Just be fair, and like I said, just let guys know that you're not no pushover. Because sometimes I've had to let guys know that I wasn't a pushover. So it's just different. You just gotta maintain control in there. It's you have control, and you got to know your authority as a referee. So I know that.
So we're gonna wrap things up with a Reddit, and we also have some rapid fire questions for you.
All right, so now go ahead.
Which one do you want first, the Reddit or the? Because I don't know where. I don't know where the accent came from. Okay. Which one do you want first? Do you want the Reddit or do you want the um the rapid fire? Rapid fire? All right, we're gonna do rapid fire questions first.
Okay, it don't matter. Let's go.
Is that a different accent? Cause is that Jamaican?
I don't know. Let's go.
Okay. Remember, this is rapid fire, so I need you to answer quickly.
All right, rapid
Who
fire.
is the toughest opponent you've ever faced in the ring?
The toughest opponent, Jeremy Williams, sparring.
Okay. If you could train any current boxer, who would it be and why?
Mike Tyson,
Why?
because I know his style.
So that's why you would want to train him?
I know his style, and I was taught his style, and I've worked with his trainers back in the day, and I just personally know the custom model style more than the guy that's training with him now.
Okay.
You know, it will be better.
So tell Mike you gonna train him if he need another trainer.
Yeah, Mike, I know your style. I know the custom model style. I know all the numbers. You know, I know springing to the right, springing to the left. You know, I know all that. I know the style, man. I know the numbers, you know.
Now I just want to say if Mike
One,
Tyson
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 7, then 8 down there.
Okay, now I just want to say if Mike Tyson called you after this, remember who put you on.
Okay.
Yeah, remember
Let's
who put
go,
you
Mike.
on.
I got you.
What's your favorite boxing movie of all time?
The Hurricane.
Rapid fire, sir. I need you to come a little quicker
The
with your answers.
Hurricane.
Who do you think is the next breakout star in boxing?
Joshua the GOAT.
Plug your son. What's one thing people don't understand about being a boxer that you wish they did?
The move swings and the physicalities and the mental part of it, they don't understand.
Okay. So how do you feel?
I feel great.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Okay, so we do have a short little Reddit for you. And this person is asking how to transition to semi-private coaching. So I've been running my own studio for about 8 years now, and I have been fairly successful with private one-on-one sessions. Recently, though, I've been starting to feel burnt out with my workload, 25 to 35 sessions per week, and was hoping to transition to a model where I can make more money and not feel overwhelmed. I was wondering what the best approach to transition to semi private training would be. I wanted to have 4 semi private slots per day with a cap of 4 clients per session. If my spots aren't maxed out in the beginning, only 1 out of the 4, should I adjust my price for that? Or would I just stick to a standard price, $30 to $40 per client, and suck up the lower pay I would make until it fills up?
What type of training does she do?
So we're gonna assume it's boxing.
Okay. How long she's been training people? What kind of experience she have?
Sir, they've owned their own studio for about 8 years.
Okay, all right.
That is literally what I started with.
All right then. Well, I'm trying to break it down. So I would say this. I'm asking questions that kind of went over my head in the beginning, but it depends on your experience, right? So for me, you have to have a blueprint of what you teach. So if you have a blueprint of what you teach, from top to bottom, say you doing as a trainer, you have to have a blueprint of what you teach from top to bottom. Like say you doing privates and it's an hour, you have to break it down to 15, 15, 15, 15 to quarters. So when you first start off, boom, the first 15 to 20 minutes, you got to warm them up.
I think you misunderstood the question.
Go ahead.
They're asking about money. How can they transition that? Like, how should they adjust if they only have one client and they're doing semi-private and they want to make like a certain amount? Should they adjust their price for that one client or keep it consistent? Or keep it consistent?
You know
And
what? You know what? For me, I've had four people training at the same time, paying me the same price as one. Like if I was training them one, and that's only because I have such a solid blueprint of what I teach. Where the more the merrier. Sometimes, like if I'm teaching boxing, I do a lot of drills, so I could do something with two people that's working with each other, and then these two people working with each other, and after they're finished, they don't feel cheated. That's the main thing as a trainer. You can have four people paying you the same as one all together. So say you say you charge $100 a session, you get $400 for an hour of work.
so that's what she's trying to do.
That's what she should do.
But
But
she's
she has to have a solid blueprint where the people don't feel cheated. They feel like they've gained something. Like, damn, this is tight. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Okay, but she's asking, should I adjust my price? If I only have one person instead of four, should I adjust my price?
I would say no. You know what I mean? It depends on how you feeling about yourself and your worth. That's all.
Because you ain't adjusting your price.
It depends, though. It depends.
Not for that much. Not which I'm assuming she's thinking about.
But like I said, everything depends on everything. Like I got people that I just know that they can do what they can do. I work with them, but then it's just people that which should be more of that's paying what you ask for. Mm-hmm. So as long as more of people paying what I ask for, the people that can't and that I got to work with, I work with them. It's rare that I do that, but I will. But on the bigger scale, everybody paying.
That's very true. That's very true because quiet as it's kept because this man ain't announced it once. This whole training, this whole interview, that man trains me. Okay, when y'all be seeing me in the gym, he trains me. If you need any other excuse to work with him as a trainer, go ahead. Let me be your excuse. Okay. I mean, like,
Hello.
oh, he gonna drink his tea now. Yeah, if you need any other excuse to train with him, you go ahead and know that I could be your reason because have you seen me?
Right now, but it's just funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny to be a trainer and to have to know your worth and talk to people and say, hey, this is my price. This is what I'm worth. And in the beginning of this, it was hard because it was like, but now it get easier because I'm more known for what I do. So it's easier now. And, you build a platform, you refer to your Instagram, you got enough stuff out to prove who you are now. That's the beautiful thing about social media. You be like, hey, you on Instagram? Bam, 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 bam. Right?
Right.
Look what I can do. You know what I mean? So it's different now. Just things are different now. So just being known for something helps too. So it's starting to help me out a little bit, just being known and people come up to me and be like, hey, masterclass. I'll be like, oh, okay, social media. So, just people know, people be in your business when you be moving on social media and you don't even know it, they be like, "Oh, so you done changed, huh? You over there now, huh?" So, um, you know, social media.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. We are excited to have you. Before we let you go, though, do you want to plug your Instagram so people can follow you for tips, training insights, and, maybe even follow you to train with you?
Yes, you can. You can follow. No, yes, you can. You can follow me on Instagram, a masterclass with Jessie White
He's saying A, but he means at.
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 All right, slash cut.
I will make sure.
Hey.
I will make sure to link his Instagram in the bio as well as tag him when we post clips of this interview.
Yo, listen. You can follow me on Instagram, Masterclass with Jessie White. And you can also follow us at Matchmakers Boxing Social Club.
Okay, you better plug yourself. That's what I'm talking about. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's all I have for you today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to tell a friend to pull up, because real friends share a podcast. And that's all I have for you today. So I'll see you guys in next week's episode. Bye. You tried to end it like me? You're still here? You know the show's over, right? Don't cry. We'll be back next week. I gotta go be a hoochie. In the meantime, catch up on the older episodes.